Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Most people are not unhappy because they have nothing. They are unhappy because they keep looking at what others have. Someone buys a new car and suddenly your bike feels small. Someone becomes successful at 23 and suddenly your own progress feels useless. Someone posts pictures from their vacation and suddenly your home feels boring. Social media has made it 10 times worse. Every single day we compare our real life with someone else's edited moments. Slowly, gratitude disappears, and when gratitude goes, peace goes with it. Today I want to tell you a story that might change the way you see your life. This is a story about a grandmother who taught an entire village that happiness does not come from having more. Happiness comes from appreciating what is already in your hands. Far away from the noisy cities, there was a small, peaceful village. It was surrounded by green fields, tall trees, and a calm river. Life there was simple. People woke up early, worked in their farms, drank tea together in the evening, and slept under quiet skies. But even in that peaceful village, people had started becoming restless. Something was wrong. One man complained that his house was too small. Another man was upset because he was not rich enough. Young boys wanted expensive phones like the ones they saw online. Young girls compared their lives with influencers and felt their own life was boring. Everyone wanted something bigger, better, or newer. No one felt happy with what they had. In the middle of that same village, near a mango tree, lived an old grandmother named Lisaa. She lived alone in a tiny mud house. The walls were old. She had one broken chair and only a few utensils in her kitchen. Her clothes were simple, and she walked slowly with a wooden stick. By the world's standards, she had nothing. But strangely, Lisaa was always smiling. Every morning, she thanked God for the sunlight coming through her window. Every afternoon, she broke her roti into small pieces and shared it with the birds outside her home. Every evening, she sat near the river and watched the sunset, completely peaceful. The villagers were confused. How can someone be this happy with so little? One day, a young man named Hamza went to visit her. Hamza was always frustrated with life. He wanted to become rich quickly. He spent hours scrolling online, comparing himself with successful people and feeling like a failure. When he entered Lisaa's small house, he looked around and said, "Grandmother, don't you ever feel sad living like this? You have almost nothing." Lisaa didn't answer immediately. She poured tea into 2 old cups and said softly, "Sit down first, Beta." Hamza sat down quietly. Then she asked him, "Tell me honestly, if I gave you a palace today, would you stay happy forever?" Hamza laughed. "Of course not, grandmother. After some time, I would want something even bigger." She nodded and asked again, "If you buy your dream car tomorrow, will your mind stop wanting more? Will you finally say this is enough?" Hamza became silent. He didn't have an answer. Lisaa looked outside the window and said, "That is the problem with this world, Hamza. People think happiness is waiting somewhere in the future. They keep running toward more and forget to enjoy what they already have." She pointed to the tea. "Look at this cup. Some people cannot even afford this. Look at your healthy body. Some people are lying in hospitals praying just to walk again. Look at your parents. Some people would give everything just to hear their mother's voice one more time." Hamza lowered his eyes. For the first time in a long time, he felt ashamed of his constant complaining. The next morning, something unexpected happened. A heavy storm hit the village. Strong winds destroyed the crops. Rainwater entered many houses, trees fell on the roads, people were panicking, running everywhere, trying to save their belongings. Hamza's roof also broke during the storm. He was scared and angry. After the storm ended, the villagers slowly came outside. Everyone looked tired, wet, and upset, but then they noticed something strange. Grandmother Lisaa was sitting outside her broken house, smiling. Her roof had partially collapsed. Her small garden was destroyed. Her only chair was broken into pieces, yet she was calmly feeding breadcrumbs to the birds, just like any other day. One villager, still angry, shouted, "How can you still smile after losing so much?" Lisaa replied gently, "The storm only took things better. It did not take my heart. It did not take my faith. It did not take my peace." The whole village became silent. Then she said something that no one in that village ever forgot. She said, "If your happiness depends on things, then life will always control you, because things can disappear anytime. Today they are here, tomorrow they are gone." That one sentence spread through the entire village like fire. For days, people could not stop thinking about her words. Hamza started changing slowly. Instead of complaining every morning, he began helping his neighbors repair their homes. He spent more time with his parents instead of scrolling on his phone. He stopped comparing his life with strangers online. And do you know what happened? For the first time in years, Hamza started sleeping peacefully. Months passed. The village slowly recovered from the storm. People rebuilt their houses. They planted new crops, but something inside the people had changed forever. They still worked hard. They still had dreams. They still wanted a better life. But now they understood one important truth. There is nothing wrong with wanting more. The real problem begins when you forget to value what you already have. One evening, Hamza sat beside Grandmother Lisaa near the river. The sunset was painting the sky orange. Hamza smiled and said, "Ma, I used to think happiness would come after success." Lisaa smiled back, placed her hand on his head and said, "No, my son, happiness comes first. When you are happy inside, then success actually feels meaningful. Otherwise, even if you get everything, you will still feel empty." Years later, Grandmother Lisaa passed away, but the village never let her die. Even today, whenever someone complains too much, whenever someone becomes jealous of others, whenever someone forgets the blessings in their own life, the elders of the village simply say two words, "Remember Lisaa." And just hearing her name brings peace back to their hearts. So what should we learn from this story? Most people spend their whole lives chasing things they don't have while ignoring the blessings already around them. A better job, a bigger house, a new phone. None of it will satisfy you if your mindset is always focused on what is missing. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is peace. Be ambitious, work hard, dream big, but do not become blind to the beauty of your current life. Because one day, the things you take for granted today, your parents, your health, that cup of tea, the ability to breathe without pain, may become the things you miss the most tomorrow. Stop fighting life, start trusting it, and start noticing what you already have. Because real peace doesn't come when you get everything you want. Real peace comes when you realize how much you already have.